Hello and very welcome. This is Liesel Teversham, and I'd like to say a few words about the difference between true self-care and something that we do to reward ourselves after a job well done. Perhaps you've made this mistake as well, and I know that I have. After a very, very long week and feeling really tired and giving it your all and working maybe too many hours, taking a little bit of time for yourself and then calling that self-care. That's not exactly what self-care is, and I'd like to shine the light today on the difference between these two. It is not self-care when we tire ourselves out completely and then take a little bit of time for ourselves and then say, yay me, I did such an awesome job. I'm going to reward myself with a long bath or a massage or a little cup of tea in the garden, putting my feet up. That kind of thing, a reward for a job well done, is just not the same as self-care. Self-care is when we keep our energy tanks full, and I've talked about the 4 energy tanks before that we need to keep full. It's mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, and spiritual energy. All of those energy tanks are required at a relatively full level to live a healthy, balanced, sustainable life. So keeping those energy tanks full or at a relatively full level, that is what true self-care is. And how we do that is to keep maintaining those tanks, to keep making sure that they are at a reasonable level. Once they run out, it takes a long time for them to refill, and that's when we can run into health problems, things like not sleeping well anymore because we've overdone it. Our nervous system is on edge and our brains can't switch off at night, that kind of thing. That's mental energy tank that is now empty, as well as each one that runs empty affects all the others. It's not like we can maintain 3 of them and think that we can let the one run out and it will all be okay. They affect each other. We are a whole being. It's just like what we think always has an effect on our body. What we do with our body has an effect on our mind. It's an interlinked system. So it is with self-care. When we let one of our energy tanks run dry, it takes a long time to refill, and the other tanks are definitely influenced as well. So I talk in my work with my clients about the value of celebration, and that is sometimes what we think of as self-care. Is job well done. I worked so hard this week. I'm going to reward myself with a massage. That is great, and it's absolutely something we need to do. It is not self-care, though. It is reward for a job well done. It's like celebrating that I stepped into something that may have been difficult for me, hard for me to maintain. That is rewarding myself and switching on the reward centers in our brain to say, yay, I made an exceptional effort. It was difficult and challenging, and I stretched myself. And now I'm going to reward myself so that my brain gets the idea it is okay to stretch myself. But we can't live on rewards alone. Our energy tanks do not stay full when we keep working hard and stretching ourselves past our limit and then reward a little bit. So there's a huge difference between celebrating a job well done or rewarding ourselves and maintaining the energy tanks on a regular, consistent basis. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that, but I know that I've made that mistake before. What we sometimes tend to do is work really, really hard from Monday to Friday and postpone the reward, postpone that bit of self-care that would have made a difference on the second day already, postpone it with thoughts like, when I finish this whole thing, I'm going to reward myself. It's like we keep the carrot out there in the front, never actually giving ourselves almost a chance to catch up with the carrot. It's not sustainable to keep doing that. So there are certain talents. I work with a Gallup Strengths Finder, or Gallup Strengths as they're now called, Clifton Strengths. And two of the talents that people have a lot in the Western world are achiever and responsibility. And people with those talents tend to work very, very hard. They need to work hard. It's not just a luxury for them, it's like a need, it's an internal need, and that's the energy that they bring to their lives and to situations and to their work. So it's okay to do that. However, we need to keep doing it in a very sustainable way by building in regular self-care to keep those energy tanks maintained and at a relatively full level, not just by rewarding ourselves at the end of a very long project, at the end of a month, or at the end of a very full week. Regular self-care include things like exercise. That's sometimes not easy for us to do, but it's necessary. It includes things like drinking enough water. It seems simple, but we forget those things. Pausing between long stretches, maybe every 2 hours or so, getting up from your desk, taking a few very deep, long breaths in, stretching your body, giving it a chance to be in a different posture. When we sit at our desk, we often get into really bad posture. And so taking care of our physical energy tank is very important as well. I can go on and on about this, and I'm just going to pause there. I welcome any questions, any comments. What are your thoughts about the difference between rewarding yourself or celebrating a job well done and true self-care that means your life is sustainable? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and listening.